It's Nigerians again. We're back, and today we're looking at boundaries. And it all starts with our culture. So, thinking about boundaries in the context of Nigerian culture, a typical example is an adult comes into the house. After all, you're a child, they feel they can talk to you anyhow. Your home has its own culture. Every individual has a way of doing things. And the fact that you are in another position, or maybe a position where people look up to you, doesn't mean it doesn't give you the right to disregard someone else's boundaries. I mean, we would find it odd if somebody walked up to you and stood right in your face. Like, what's that about? But how often do we do that? We may be able to relate to when a relative comes to the house and they just feel, after all, you're a child, so they can talk to you anyhow. We're not saying as a younger person you should be disrespectful, but respect is at every level. So if we expect respect, we should also give respect. So as a carer, it's important to be respected. For those around carers, we should respect them as well. So let's take it from the cultural level, where people can be domineering, authoritarian. It's totally unfair. It is abusive. And because the role of a carer sometimes can be seen as a less dignifying role, erroneously so, it is wrong. But in our culture, it's not uncommon to see that. And those are the things we're trying to redefine. These are carers add value to lives. So because of the value they add to our lives, and even if they didn't, every human being should be respected. So we should, we should respect our own boundaries and respect their boundaries as well. And taking that to the level of the carer, as a carer, you have a role, a defined role to care for the person, not to disregard the preferences of our elderly people. So let's respect ourselves as carers and respect the boundaries of our elderly. If they don't want things a certain way, there's a reason. We may want it some other way. That's our own problem. That's our preference. So let's respect the boundaries of our work, to be caring, to be competent, to be courageous, to speak up when something is going bad and not carry the unhealthy things we have taken from our society and use it in our place of work. Like saying, taking things from elderly people, it's not unknown. Where because an elderly person is not in a position to speak up, or they might be scared that if they say you've taken this from me, then that's how the person will now not take care of me properly. So they keep quiet. Let's respect ourselves and let's respect our elderly people too. Let's keep healthy boundaries. And the more we all do it, the better our society becomes. It might seem a little thing, but let's start promoting a healthier culture. And for those of us around carers as well, let's talk to carers with respect. Let's respect not just their roles, but because every human being deserves to be respected. So boundaries matter. Don't come into someone's house and that's the carer. Okay, go and get me a cup of water. After all, we have employed you. You are disrespecting yourself. You are disregarding the boundaries of yourself as a guest in that house and the boundaries of the role of the carer. So let's promote respect by respecting ourselves, respecting boundaries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think in our culture, it's just important for us to put boundaries in place. Respect begets respect.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we roll that, I mean, maybe not you. Some of us would have had one or two aunties in the back, back when we were growing up, that you were shaking for me, you were shaking. No, please, no, thank you. And as they grow older, you're growing older, they're growing older, and they still expect that kind of subservience. Yes, it is part of our culture, our culture automatically expects respect. But when we understand that respect begets respect, young, old alike, female, male alike, respect is, it cuts across all boundaries. So it's important for us to Entrench that from when we are young. Give it to adults, give it to younger people, give it to your colleagues. Don't lord things just because you're in a position of power and you're abusing your authority. It has a boomerang effect. It's the same thing with the with elderly care. Respect the wishes of the individual, respect what the individual wants. And family members need to respect carers when they come into your homes as well. They're not your family member. They're not your slave. Carers are not your slave. They're not your family members. They're not your siblings. They are professionals out there to do a specific job, which is to take care of the health and well-being of that family member that they have been assigned to. So please, let's help cultivate this industry from scratch in a good way so that we all reap the benefits of it as we grow older. And I remember one of the carers we had in the past was giving us an example of the time she was taking care of a family. And because this culture thing came into play, she goes in to take care of our client, but because the client is a Nigerian family in a Nigerian residence. So you go in there to take care of your client, and because there are dishes in the sink, she will as I'm washing my client's dishes, she will wash everything else that's dirty around there. With time, the family started pushing it as if it was her responsibility. But she knew it wasn't in her care plan. But when she saw the abuse that was coming in, fortunately, she's a strong girl that knows boundaries. She started pushing back. So she stopped doing and just focused on her client's needs. The family got upset and called the office to report her to say, client is not doing house cleaning. And they said, house cleaning is not part of her job. The house cleaning that she's supposed to do is as regards the client. So carers can be extremely specific as well, especially when they see that family members are introducing abuse. We should respect. Let us understand that respect is the background, of relationship building. And somebody that we're assigning our family members to look after, we don't want to step on the wrong toes. People are different, and even though they are trained to manage their emotions, we don't want to trigger what is not there. So please, let's work together on boundaries. Thank you once again. It's Niger Seniors for you, for me, and for all of us in Nigerian society. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. And maybe my final words would be, don't abuse boundaries.
Thank you.